Hello gamers, this is Sai and welcome back to Which Way Games. Now what's that target we always aim for? And with that being said, let's get on with the video. When it comes to playing video games, most gamers over the years have used a multitude of different controllers. Most of these had one key factor, and it was to provide an overall control while playing, ultimately leading to the best experience possible. And a few ways this was done was by using a keyboard and mouse, or the staple of all gaming, the humble game controller. Most of these controllers came in different shapes and sizes, ranging from Nintendo's famous controller going all the way to the original Xbox's controller, nicknamed the Duke.
Shake it, baby.
Over the years, the world of gaming would have a wide array of controllers, and of course going hand in hand with this would be gaming peripherals. These extra add-ons for consoles brought a whole new experience for gamers, such as Rob the Robot for the game Gyromite, the fishing rod for Sega Bash Fishing, as well as the vast amount of steering wheels for driving games such as the Need for Speed series. But let's not forget one of the most infamous peripherals of all time, the Nintendo Power Glove.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
With all these peripherals giving gamers the most out of their games, there is one that needs to come back to the world of gaming, and that would be the light gun, which provided gamers with hours of fun. So with that in mind, let's go back to where it all started. Back in the late 60s and the early 70s, light gun games were more mechanical in nature, until the introduction of light gun video games in the arcade. Now light guns for video games worked by sending an electron beam into the phosphor or CRT TVs. And when gamers pulled the trigger, the light gun would send a signal instantaneously, creating the illusion of gunfire. Although sometimes, despite gamers' best efforts, there will be small problems with aiming, kind of like Joy-Con drift, but for light guns. There was that trick that if you held the gun into a light bulb and pulled the trigger several times, it would sort out any aiming issues. But did it truly work? Gamers absolutely loved these highly addictive games that allowed them to test their shooting skills, with what was then regarded as the newest innovation for gaming. And proving to be hugely popular, light gun games eventually made that transition from the arcade into the homes of gamers, with a variety of different games, including the classic Duck Hunt. Gamers of the 80s had their fun shooting down those elusive ducks, as well as blasting away enemies in the fantastic Operation Wolf. But when the golden era 16-bit gaming appeared, light gun shooting games started to change and foreshadowed the direction they were heading in. This is where Nintendo Super Scope replaced the zapper, although I always thought it was a bit weird that the trigger was on top of the actual gun. Not only did gamers at home get to experience some great new games using the Super Scope gun, gamers in the arcade also got some fantastic shooting games such as Terminator 2 Judgment Day. But it wouldn't be long until the world of gaming soon made that transition into the realm of 3D, especially with the release of Sega's Virtua Cop in 1994. This awesome game broke new grounds, and from that point, light gun games were never the same. More and more shooting games made that transition to the realm of 3D, mesmerising gamers with some fantastic graphics as well as hugely addictive gameplay. However, when the legendary Time Crisis was released in the arcade, the popularity of light gun shooting games skyrocketed to a whole new level. Time Crisis was massively popular in the arcades, and when it eventually got released on the PlayStation, gamers couldn't get enough of this fantastic shooting series. Now, Time Crisis was very similar to Virtua Cop. However, when it was eventually released on the PlayStation, a whole new army of fans were made. It's seen that light gun shooting games were on the rise once again, but now powered with new technology, which only fueled this new passion for blasting away enemies with a gun. But it wouldn't be long until the infamous Time Crisis 2 made its presence known in the world of gaming. My first encounter with Time Crisis 2 was at the infamous arcade of my youth, where I saw an elite gamer using both guns as well as both screens. In fact, come to think of it, I think it went a bit like this. Oh yeah, Time Crisis 2. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've got a pound ready. I'm gonna be some time. Oh, I don't want to play. I want to see how far you can get. Alright then, let's do this. Ah, classic memories of gaming. Although, what 10-year-old has a beard?
Over time, many more light gun shooting games would appear in the arcade, as well as at home on famous consoles such as the Sega Saturn and the Sega Dreamcast. And of course, speaking of the Sega Dreamcast, there is one game that is fondly remembered by gamers, who spent many hours of the day and night shooting down enemies while saving the hostages from death.
This would be House of the Dead 2, which fits perfectly in any top 10 light gun games list on YouTube.
I don't want to die!
Now, gamers were supposed to save the hostages, but I've got to admit, it's quite fun shooting them. Oh my god, and I thought I had issues.
Light gun shooting games eventually started to incorporate many other weapons for some of the fantastic games to use this technology. For example, when it came to silent scope, gamers would use a sniper rifle with a zoom in function to protect hostages from harm.
This does remind me of one gamer who took gaming that one step further by dressing up in full riot gear and a helmet. I mean, we've all pretended to be the hero, right?
As time passed, light gun shooting games started to enter the world of mythology with Vampire Nights, which had gamers hunting blood-sucking vampires in this difficult but ultimately rewarding game.
Die, you evil spawn of Satan!
Eventually, light gun shooting games would become less popular, making way for other legendary gaming innovations, such as VR technology, but has never strayed too far from the mind of gamers. There have been attempts of rekindling this fire of light gun shooting games with the likes of the House of the Dead Overkill.
Sadly though, some of the classic light gun games won't work on modern TVs. Of course, there is a Kickstarter, so hopefully this will change in the future.
Overall, light gun games are highly addictive and fun to play, providing a whole new gaming experience for gamers. Being able to be played by all different types of gamers, the main focus was to have fun and build up lasting memories that would always be looked back on with fondness. Maybe if the Kickstarter I mentioned earlier gets the go ahead, then the world of light gun gaming will once again entice gamers to pick up the gun and save the day. Perhaps a whole new legion of fans will be made, and possibly even inspire some of them to make their own light gun shooting games. Either way, I enjoy all aspects of gaming, especially the fun had when playing some of the classics of light gun gaming.
Anyway, come back next time where a crazed bandicoot spun its way into the world of gaming, and with it, a rise of other gaming mascots. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next game.